Is that all there is? The quiet despair behind disconnected intimacy. A sacred reflection on numbness, duty, and the path back to embodied joy. So really welcome to another episode of 50 Sacred Pleasures Secrets. I'm your host Girisha Andrea, and today's solo episode is for every woman who has ever lain in bed after intimacy, starting at the ceiling or curling into herself and silently whispered, "Is it all there is?" If you've ever felt untouched in the middle of being touched, if you ever felt more alone after sex than before, if you ever felt performed instead of participated, this is your space, and this episode is for you. There is a silent despair that so many women carrying. They are having sex, maybe even in committed relationships, but they feel nothing. No connection, not pleasure, not presence, just emptiness or resentment or a sense of getting it over with, and yet they don't speak about that because no one told them it was safe to say, "I don't feel anything." So what they are doing? They are fake it. They don't disconnect it. They survive it because that's what they have been conditioned to do, to show up, to satisfy, to endure. And there was a time when my own life where I had intimacy, but no intimacy. It wasn't a relationship. We had sex, but I wasn't there. My body was present, but I was far away, in thought, in survival, in silence. I would pretend it. Smile, moan, and then lay in bed wondering, is that it? Is this what everyone is talking about? And I remember thinking, well, maybe there is something wrong with me. Maybe I'm broken. Maybe I just don't feel the way others do. But that wasn't true. I wasn't broken. I wasn't disconnected. And that disconnection was learned from trauma, culture, shame, and the expectation to serve instead of feel. So what happened with me in my 20s? I was living in a relationship, a long-term relationship. At the beginning, the sex was okay, but after that, we started our career and we met less and less. But we had the desire to spend time together, and soon I became in a top manager position, manager, and I was working so hard. I was so much in my to-do list. I was really, really under pressure all the time, and I remember that once I was laying down in a couch on the couch, and he was pleasing me as usual, and this was also key, and I really want to talk about that, and I was like, almost there, no, and then no, and it took a long time, and he started to be impatient, but he was doing his best. And he was absolutely pleasing me. He was giving me what usually was working, but that was a moment, and that was the time when I was so stuck in my head and I was not conscious at all. And he was just stopping for a moment and looked at me, and I looked at him, and he asked me that, "Are you here?" And you know, it hit me so deeply, and I still feel this energy in my body that, oh my goodness, and it started right now from my heart. And I was like, oh my goodness, he was present with me, he was pleasing me, and I didn't respect him, at least just being there, at least just focusing on my body and enjoying what was happening. So from that moment, I started to learn about myself in a way that what happened. And after a lot of studies, I realized and I learned that I was stuck in my head, and it was like a cut, around my neck, and I was completely focused in my head, my to-do list, what I missed, what I need to do, and sometimes I focused when I was aroused that it is there, but then suddenly it was a cut, and so I started to learn how to relax. I think that this is one of the key we didn't learn, that's why we need to reteach ourselves and relearn how we connect with our body. And so what happening when we are so much in our head, because we need to have a lot of to-do lists, we need to fulfill requirements, and there are a lot of expectations, and that our life is much faster, and we are so busy, so we forget about relaxing. We had so many, and then I'm meeting so many women has insomnia, so had some kind of like sleeping issues. So or if you have this smart watches that you could also follow, that your RAM, so your sleeping mechanism, and also whether you can go deep sleep, or whether you can fully relax your body, and also that the trauma, the shame, the guilt, the pain, the abuse, the stress,